Hi. In this session, we'll discuss about Excel. So, introduction to Excel. So, what is an Excel? How we can understand an Excel here. So, first of all, what is Excel? So, how we can understand the Excel things? See. So, Excel is look like the Excel total environment. It is a workbook. So, Excel is called workbook. You know. So, in this workbook, we maintain worksheets. That means a workbook containing of worksheets. See here. So all worksheets of containing of the combination of columns and rows. See here. So every Excel is a workbook. That Excel workbook is containing of worksheets. That sheet means what? Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. This is the different sheets like. So every worksheet is combination of columns and rows. That means one is defined by column and another is defined by row. So how the column is defined? See here. The columns are defined alphabets. Alphabets means A, B, C, D like. So the rows are defined 1, 2, 3, 4 like. So this is the most important thing for Excel. So you can understand about rows and columns and column data and row data. So this is the combination of the table. So every column is defined through A, B, C, D alphabets, like A as a 1, B as a 2. So like A column is defined by 1, B is defined by 2, like Z is defined by 26. And how many columns in this data? So in this Excel, how many columns are there? So the total columns are, the sequence is from A to XFD. That sequence is, the total columns are, the sequence of the column is A to XFD. In this XFD columns, we have different sequence are there. The first sequence is A to Z. See here, A to Z, A to ZZ, triple A to XFD. This is the last sequence. The total columns are from A to XFD. So begins with A to Z, one sequence, and A to ZZ, triple A to XFD. Suppose you want to enter that particular cell, suppose ZZ column or AZ column or any between of the column, just you can click on the name box here. This is called name box. Click it here, the name box. Suppose ZZ1. ZZ is a column, one is a row. That means we are entered into the ZZ one row here. Again, you want to go triple A1 here. Triple A1 means it goes at triple A1 column. Again, the last sequence, what was the last sequence here? XFD1. This is the last sequence. Again, back to the same cell, you can use that same A1. If you type A1, you back to the same cell, or else the shortcut key is control left arrow. Control left arrow means what? So it backs to the first cell. Again, control right arrow here and with last column. So control left is back to this first column. Same position, even rows also. Control down arrow here and edge of last row. Again, control top arrow, it goes at directly top of the row. So the total sequence of the column A to XFD. So in this XFD, every column is a number. Say A as a 1, B as a 2. So what is the number of columns? So how many columns in Excel? So number of columns. So A as a 1, B as a 2. So we can know that formula like that. See, we can write the formula here, simply equals to column open and close brackets here. So once we write the column formula here, so automatically we'll know that n number of columns in Excel. See, so how many columns in Excel? 16,384 columns. The total sequence is 16,384 columns per Excel sheet. See here. The total columns are A to XFD, A, B, C, D like that. And the total columns are 16,384 columns. And even rows also. See a row is called, see a row is there, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is called a row header. The rows are, we can't define it. Already rows, we know that 1, 2, 3. So we have defined by that A as a 1, B as a 2, because of every column behind the number is there. So directly is a column, and indirectly it is called calculate is a one number, like A1, B1, like A as a 1, B as a 2, like that. So now you can understand here. So number of rows are there. See here, just click that control down arrow here. See what the total rows are displayed. See 10,48,576. See here, 10,48,576 rows. So this is the standard rows about one worksheet. So same, every worksheet, same strategy. From how many rows are there? From 1 to XFD. Okay, so this is called Excel rows and columns. So Excel is called a workbook, the workbook containing of worksheets, the worksheets containing of columns and rows. So every column and row is intersect, it is called a cell. So what is cell? Cell or cells. Cell is the identification of the data. So for example, here we wrote some different places. So if you want to identify the any number, so directly is the value, that means the result. So indirectly behind the data set, we have to calculate it as a one number. Suppose I'm writing here 100. So again, I'm writing 100 in the different place. Again, I'm writing different places. I'm writing the same value. See, the value is same. See here, the value is duplicated, repeated the value. So every value is a unique. That means the cell address is a unique. Suppose what is the cell address first? See here, 100, this first 100 is there. See here, the column is E. First, you can identify that. The column is E. Again, what was the row? See here, 16. So 16. So shall we write like that? E16. So every cell is a indirect method. The data you can write directly, it is representing. So every cell behind the number, that is, we can identify the cell address. So these cell address are helps you when you are calculating when you are calculating the ranges. Okay, so at the time of calculation of all the ranges, it is helps to you. So all the data sets like, okay, so this is the how we can understanding about rows and columns data. Back to the another session. So in this session, we are discussing about writing a formula. So Excel most priority we are writing as a formulas. So formulas are means all formulas are defined in the Excel sheet. So see here in the formula segment is there, in the formula menu is there. See here formulas. So formulas are different categorized formulas are there. Let's discuss few formulas about so how to understand the formula, how to automate the formulas here. So formula writing procedures. So how to write the formula. So formulas means what general formulas, how you can understand as of calculator method. If it is a calculator method, so calculator method is what generally we are writing like that. So 5 plus 6 plus 4 like this. But here we are using the equal sign. In the calculator, we never use any equal sign. So directly we can write like 5 plus 6 plus 4. So did you get any report, any result here? So this is, it look like say text place. Suppose in Excel, if you write a equal sign, suppose equals to 5 plus 6 plus 4, it returns as a what? It returns as a value. That means one result. So the plus is the general calculations. Okay. So in Excel, we can write a formula, inbuilt formula, that is the name of formula name, that is called a function. Every formula is defined as a function or functions. So function is means already every function is defined. See, these are called a function library. So every function is defined by a name. So like a logicals are different. Logicals are there, if and or not, and the text formulas are here. Many more formulas are there. But how could you understand these formulas? How we are way of understanding? So what is the situation we have to write that formula? So every data set behind the formula is there. So we need to write a formula. So how we can understand the formula? Once we know the formula, the data will be updated automatically. So calculator method means what sometimes we are using, but Excel is a very big calculator. You know that very big scientific calculator. It's a static calculator. It's a financial calculators, many things. So we can use many more things like that. Suppose we have a sales data range is there. So in this sales data range, how we can calculate a, for example, total or average, count, like count by text, okay, like min, like max here. What is total? Total means what is we are adding. So we are adding the data, no? So we are adding the addition. It's simple, it is called addition. So without function also we can write like a calculated method. How look like equals to value 1 plus value 2 plus value 3. This is a simple complex formula. See here, this is the cell reference we are using. Without cell reference means what? Equals to 100 plus 200 plus 300 plus 400. It look like a calculated method or simple complex formula. But all the formulas are defined formulas, so no need to write this kind of methods. So you can write a directly function name. The function name is total. The total function, we can use the formula as called sum. What is the formula here? The formula we can utilize it as sum formula. So how the sum is helping to us? So here equals to sum open bracket. So this is called an argument. Once we open the bracket, the argument has displayed. Suppose if you remove that open bracket here, just it's shown only for filter of the SUM. So what are the in Excel SUM related? All the functions are filtered. Once we open that, then SUM later, then see here, this is called an argument. Argument means what? How we are able to write a formula. So every formula we can understand their argument. That means rule or a syntax. Many more meanings are there. So you can understand here what is number one. Number one means what? Like value 1, value 2, value 3. So you can select the range. So shall we select like that? So you can select that value 1 to end of the range. So whatever the range we have, that data set range, you can select this data set range and close the bracket, press enter button. So here you will get the all the total values like. So it is easy to understand the formula. So every formula between what it is there, this is called a range. So the range means what? Either horizontal range, vertical range, or complete table range. Same methods we are writing all the formulas like a sum, average. The formula name is what? Average. So we can write that the function is equals to average, then data range. So just click on the first cell. How to select the all the data? It's a single way. So it is a shortcut way. In general, how you can select? Hold the mouse button, just we are dragging like this. This is the one method. And another method is click on the first cell, control shift down navigation, down arrow. It select the all the current range and close the bracket, then enter. It returns the value of average. Same we can count by number of things. So how many sales ranges are there? You can use the count function. So equals to count, then see here value 1, value 2. So count is number 1, number 2 is it is adding. So addition like that. So this is value 1, value 2 means what is count 1, 2, 3. So like this, see, just click on the cell there and control shift down arrow and close the bracket, then enter. See here. Same we can count the minimum, how many minimum things are, minimum value is there, what is the maximum value. Minimum means what? Lowest value, maximum means highest value. Very simple way, equals to min. Now you can select the data range, all the data set range. So you will get the minimum of the sales, and as well as you can calculate it as maximum equals to max, then click on data range. See here. Very clear? So now you can understand which is the highest value and which is the lowest value. Even you can calculate blanks. So how many blanks are there? The formula name is called count blank. See, equals to count blank. See here. The third one is count blank. Open the bracket. See your range is there. So what is the range? The whole range you can select, or else single range, anything you can select. This is the test case here. So how to test case? So the test case is, so it is the how many blanks are there, it is calculated here. If it is blanks are available, it is counted by 1, 2, 3. There is no blanks, it returns as a 0. Why it is 0? There is no blank. Suppose if I am removing any value, suppose something the cells are there is no data, suppose some information is not available. So when it is not available the data, in that case, here blanks are there. So it is this is called calculation. So in this calculation, different calculations are there in advanced level, and lookups and VLOOKUP and HLOOKUPs and math and trigonometric functions are there, and some more other statics functions and information functions are there, some other web functions are there. These all will be helps you. So data analysis part, data analyzing, statistic functions. So many more things we can discuss. So this is a very basic fundamental things how we can understanding as a formula, how to write a formula. Now we can discuss about conditional format as of this table. So this is the sales revenue data. So conditional format means what? So what is conditional format? So the conditional format, it is always highlight the database. Suppose how we can highlight the data. So manually how we can highlight the data. Suppose we want to highlight the one product, we can select, click on home tab, just click on highlighter, just we can highlight it. So this is the manual process. The conditional format is a automatically it can update the data. So instant numbers or text or anything. So based on the condition means it's a logical method. So such kind of conditions already predefined. So all it was given that kind of conditions we have to select. So some selected conditions are there. Now we can select the condition. Just we can apply the conditions like suppose this sales data is there. Suppose you can select the data. So until end of the data or whatever the database. Suppose I am selecting end of the data. Control Shift down arrow here. The down navigation arrow. All the data has selected. Now click on conditional format, home tab, manage rule. So these all are instant rules. Later we'll discuss all the rules of advanced level. So few things we can discuss about, we can understanding and about conditional formats. So now click on manage rule. So here, new rule, then format cell that contain. So now it is a number. So what were the sequence we required? More than value, less than values here. This is the cell value as numbers or the different kind of numbers are there. Suppose if you select the greater than or greater than or equals, suppose I'm going to select greater than 10,000. So whether the 10,000 above the values are there, so those will be selected about one particular color. So conditional format is very important for that format. Suppose if you didn't select the format, it is unable to activate the conditional format. Suppose if you click on OK, see here, have you got anything like that? So again, if you apply, nothing is happened because it's nothing has selected. So again, click it here, edit the role. So you must be selected that format. Format is means the color formats like a borders, fonts, number formats. These all are required for different number formats means currency formats. So as per the requirement. So now our requirement is click on fill. Just you can choose any required colors, then click OK, then OK. Now click apply. See here, you can get the preview. And finally click on OK. The condition has accepted. Even you can apply names also. Suppose you can select the reason. So now we can highlight the one reason. So just I selected the data of all the regions. Again, click on conditional format, manage rule, click on new rule. So the reason is what? It's completely text characters. Okay, in this case, you can select the same thing like format cells that contain. Here cell value is there. Cell value means most it is a number, but we have selected the data as only for text. At the time of text, you can select it by a specific text. So here in the specific text, here are sub procedures are there that is containing a non-containing, begin with, end with. Containing means what? It's a complete spelling, complete name or anything of name. Non-containing, see here, non-containing of Bangalore. That means other than Bangalore, remain will be selected. Containing of Bangalore means only equal of Bangalore and or else begin with, end with. Begin with, for example, H or H related of areas. And end with, suppose U, end with D or end with G, end with G name of all the areas. Now our requirement is containing. Containing means the same spelling. Suppose I'm selecting Hyderabad. See here. So I selected Hyderabad, then click on format. Just you can choose the color, then okay, then okay. So once we applied, all the Hyderabad data sets has selected by individuals here. So when you're changing of any spelling, suppose if you are changing, for example, instead of Hyderabad, suppose if you are changing Vizag, say automatically the color has been modified. So the conditional format is it look like, so automatically the data also modified, the conditions also modified. So this is a very basic rules we can understanding about condition format. Suppose you want to apply one more condition of the same reason, again you can select the data set and data table and click on conditional format, again manage role. See how many rules we have applied the same column. So in the rules are stored this place. That means all the rules are displayed here. Again, you want to apply one more rule, just click on again here, new rule, then click on the second rule as same format cells that contain, select the specific text. Now you can select example Bangalore. Just you can select the Bangalore, then click on format, choose the format color and click OK, then OK. See here, automatically the color will be applied. Same, you want to remove the conditional format. Again, conditional format. Suppose you want to remove the instant conditional formats, clear rules. Clear rule means here two condition rules are there. Clear rules from selected cell means which is selected the cell. That means all rules will be deleted. Clear rule from entire sheet means all the rules. That means other sheets also. That means other tables also it will be deleted. So now you can remove that only selected rule. So you don't use these two things. Either you can remove entire the sheets and other rules also, or else selected cells means how many rules are there selected cells in the D column, two rules, whereas Bangalore and Hyderabad. Now we would like to remove only one reason or one place. Now you can go ahead for click on manage roles and select the which rule you want to remove. Just select the role and delete the role, then okay. See here, automatically the rule will be deleted by default. This is how you are able to understand the conditional format. So the conditional format will helps you many more times because of it. It is easy to understand, it is easy to analyze the data, it is easy to sorting your database. Okay, so this is how we can understanding about conditional format. So now we can discuss about pivot tables. So what is pivot table? So pivot table is it's a different analysis reporting tool. So we can create the different type of reports in the pivot reports. So without writing a formula, we can analyze the data. So previously we have discussed about how to write a formula. And in this case, we can discuss about that pivot tables. So pivot table means is a different strategy. So now look into the pivot tables here in the go to insert tab, click on pivot table here. The pivot table is easy to analyze the data reporting. So it's the reporting tools. So how to analyze the data reporting tool? So check it this all the table list. So once we click the pivot table, so it's displayed the pivot table dialog box. So the pivot table data selections here, choose the data where you want to analyze. So already we have clicked the cursor within the table. That's what it was selected by the default table range, you know. So now after the selection of this range, so the where you want to pivot table to be placed. So pivot table is it can be placed with the within the sheet and new sheet. Within the sheet means what existing sheet. This pivot is created by new sheet. Click on new sheet. See here. When you click on new sheet, it is created by new sheet. It is comparing with raw data. So the raw data is the different place and this pivot table is the another place. So now we can analyze the pivot table. So this is pivot table preview place, and this preview is displayed one dialog box in the right hand side. This is called pivot table pan. In this pan we can analyze the all the things. So these all are the field list. See how many fields are there in the raw data. So product category, product name, state, reason, sales. So you can create a different table designs and the table methods. Suppose these all fields you can move into the field areas. So these all are the fields. Fields are four types. One is filter, column, row wise, and sigma. Sigma value. Sigma value is a calculation method. So these two are segregation powered by row data, column data, and filter data. Very simple example. Suppose we want to see that every product wise total average like count. So product wise, so click on to drag the product name into the row. See here the common products are displayed. Again you can drag the sales into the sigma. See here all the values are displayed. So this is automatically analyze the data. So it is a short list of the all the database will be comes of unique data. So how many things are there? It is displayed by all the unique database only. So you can select it by all the things. Suppose you want to calculate again average or count, again you can drag the sales into the second place. See here, right click on header in this field area, so click on value field settings, you can change the formula, suppose count. See here, how many things are there? Totally 96 items. Those 96 items, it was calculated by an individual. This is the one kind of report. So suppose if you click on uncheck it here, see here, back to the normal table. So based on this pivot table field list, you can create your pivot table. So your cursor must be located within the table only. Suppose if you click on your cursor at outside, so see here, the pivot table will be hidden automatically because we can't do anything in this place. So we must be place the cursor while we are working on pivot table. Just click on the cursor here. So now you can analyze the data. So these all are the link up the database from the original raw data and our master data. So these all are the fields which are selected the part. Now suppose you want to see that state wise sales, so drop the sales into that row and sales into the like this sigma value, and each, so you want to see that each region so into column, so click into drag the region into column data. See here how this table, so this table is a very tabular method, so it can be changing randomly, it is changing horizontal vertical, that means row into column, column into row. Suppose you want to drop that filter into product category, just you can drop it here. So once we drop the filter here, automatically the filter has created. So the filter is benefit for, you can filter for all the data. Suppose you would like to see the one product, see here food grains, click on food grains here, then okay, you can check it the all the food grains like. So many things we can implement the in pivot table, and lakhs of information data is there. Within the minutes we can calculate it that all the data sets like that. So this is how we are able to understand that pivot table, and we have pivot charts also there. So suppose you want to suppose if you uncheck it here, so all data will be back to the same position. So you want to see the category wise here, category, and sales wise sigma value. Sigma means what? Calculation data. So whatever the numerical data is there in this place, we are calculating this place. See here, this is what we are understanding this data table only category wise. Suppose you want to see that each category how many products, again product name is you can drop into that the below of the product category. See here, so see product 1, product category 2, product category 3, 4. So you want to see that each category with the state wise. So again, I'm dropping the state into that column wise. See here. So now you can click on design. So you can design the table as you're required. See here, all the design tables. So you can design all the bandwidth or colors. You can check it there all. So this is how we are able to understand about pivot tables.